Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. I think everybody's still in the
host of Detailing Addiction,
mood of Thanksgiving. And also
please join me on Tuesday afternoons at 4
Thanksgiving and Black Friday. That's what Michelle told me. Black Friday. So Black is like, well, it's not black. It's all blue. So everybody's shopping. And during this time, I think it's the busiest time, and a lot of people stressed out, and a couple people asking me a lot of questions for the last many days, and we try to get together and answer some of the questions, not all the questions. And what I do is I get Michelle over here to present the questions, and then I will answer some of the questions that some people asked about their lives, about the stress, about the illness, about the father's illness, about the children. And I want to see, if we can together and resolve. And that's what it's about. Okay, before we do that, since this is meditation and radio, for me at least, so let's do some meditation. And then we get into the meat of the problem. And then we resolve. Okay? All right. Take a deeper breath. Slowly breathe out. Again, take a deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Quickly breathe out. Breathe in. All the way below your lungs to your lower abdomen. Breathe out. Let's do 3 more. Okay, let's do slowly in and out. As you observe yourself, listen to yourself, see from the top of your skull to your shoulder level and to your spinal cord and to your hips. Just to observe areas by areas. If they're stressed, or if they're tensed, or if they begin to relax, it doesn't matter. What kind of situation, just observe without management, without control. Just observe as it is. Deeply breathe in. Gradually breathe out. Slowly raise your hands up to each side. If you do some breath, if you do some meditation, if you do calm yourself down a little bit, listen to yourself, observe yourself internally, and you will see your mind, your energy, your internal being begin to change. You receive information in a total different ways. You will not be frantic as you hear the fears for the news. You won't be frantic when people told you all kinds of crazy stories of this pandemic. You become calmer. You can become more selective to deal with this situation without dissipating to that extreme. Yes, pandemic, a lot of people die. That's true. But we had thousands of pandemics before. Many lived. Those who lived with a strong immune system, those who lived selected with information that strengthened them instead of dissipate them. Those people die mostly sub-health, immune system issues. Has nothing to do with the, people say, oh, because you're so old and you have this problem. No, I'm over 30 years old, I'm fine. See? This guy is over 40 years old, he's fine. What I see, it is how you deal with the information. And people always ask me, oh, you don't have insurance, you can be scared. I say, I have the best insurance in the world. It's called a DeRu insurance. Really? Because DeRu insurance really insure you 100% health. Nobody can guarantee that. But that DeRu can guarantee me for the 100% health. That is how my insurance so beautiful about. Today, I want to penetrate a little bit deeper. I want to get a connect with other people for the past weeks, and they have some questions. And actually, Wednesday. Okay, this is Michelle. Okay, Michelle is one of my students, and she's been with me in and out for the last 4 years. And she worked for my front desk a couple of times. And she's also helped me, to write the book. And one of my books is called Imagine and Beyond. And she was the main editor. We have a lady from the Harvard. She did the last, and another lady from Arizona and did the first one. She was in the middle. She did a lot of reorganization, put them together. Chase with the time. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now, a couple people ask a few questions. I want to let her present the questions, and I will. And I cannot say it's an answer. What I will do is let's explore together. Okay, what we can resolve, what we can do with these issues.
All right. Hello, everyone. And Shifu, I have some questions. One of the questions I have is probably very important today. A father of 3, he wrote in. He's very depressed. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He's depressed, and his mind is thinking about suicide as an option. He has this family to support, and the pandemic is causing him problems. And what do you recommend for him to take care of himself and his family?
We all have families. I have a big family of over 7 billion people. That's my family. So what I see, we all have dilemmas, we all have depressed times, we all have stigmas, we all have such a time, and then we want to commit suicide. I had such time. Because when I was in China, I was in probably 20s, I was at college, and a group of us, we want to commit suicide together. It's true. And everybody wants to do together. Why? Because we all came from the families that are denounced by the government. And then we feel we were useless. We feel we were extra to the world. We feel, and we were garbage to everybody. and people can do anything to us. So that's why we were so depressed. We wept together, we cried together. Those are college students, you know. I just got to college, and I was a driver, and I was actually the best position than they were, because I was a driver. Driver was a very prominent job those days. And then I wanted to go to college, and then I met these guys. But they all had the similar situation with the family, had issues with the Communist Party. And the government really suppressed the family. They're either in jail or had to get a bigger plaque with the counter-revolutionary on the street, put a head on the ground, like for 3 hours, after they work, swept the street for like another 3 hours, and on the street, like put a head on the ground for another 3 hours, and people threw rocks to you. That's the hell they endure. Yes, some people commit suicide. It's true. Oh yeah. But during this time, this is the best time to test your strength. Yes, in the United States, it's different. Because you lost jobs, because you have a whole family support. Find something, especially during this time. The energy will flow. Energy will flow. When you become active, when you go out, especially this time, people do not want to go out. They're so depressed, they stay at home. And then the more stay at home, the more depressed they become. They don't see an outlet anymore. Especially with all these fears, pumped by media, pumped by all kinds of political situations, which I'm totally not in, because I don't have time for that. Because my time is to spend for what? For my health. My time is spent for my friend's health. My time is spent for a lot of people worldwide. They want to ask questions. They want some help. And I will encourage them. Because I'm a good example. I could have committed suicide many times. Oh yeah. People can beat me to death. And they don't regret it even. Why? Because I was an enemy of the country at that time. And I can climb out of the dead bodies. So, by that time, yes, it was totally devastating. But when I get out of that loop, wow, that was really good time. Because test my guts, test my body, test my mind, test what I can go through. And then did not die. And I see. Along the way, I became stronger and stronger and stronger each time. And I told a lot of my students, including Michelle, one time, when you have a sprinkle of salt put into the water, there was my luxury. There was a luxury water. Because I never got just a sprinkle of salt in my water to drink with the salt water. That was a luxury. Because all I drank is dirty water. Because there is a lot of places polluted. A lot of places, just any places I can drink anything. And with the salt water, even has salt in it. Salt was very rare. In 1 year, we probably can get maybe less than half pound of salt for many people of the family. If you drink a bowl of rice, you cannot find rice. You dig down, you find the rice, the whole bowl of rice. You cannot find the rice. Eventually get one. Oh my goodness, that's right. It's a psychologically, you get one rice. That was the life I lived in. This is United States. This is compared to my life was nothing. I have to tell you. Oh yeah, it's true. When I heard a story, the father, because he was so depressed, his wife thought he may commit suicide. He's tall, handsome guy. He felt depressed because he cannot feed the kids, but they still have something, They have something. compared to my life, it's no compare. The worst time was nothing. The best time at that time, we had about 80 cents. 2 people, me and my Shifu, who was Shaolin chief monk at that time. That means the most denounced person. They didn't want to feed him at all. Nothing. And I had 80 cents. 2 people for 3 months. 2 people for 3 months, 80 cents. That was the best time in my life during that period of time. Because we have 80 cents. 2 people lived for 3 months. Because before that time we didn't have 80 cents. Anything we do, just we get some rotten vegetables cut here, there. That was the best thing. If we get $3, that was good. Sometimes I do not know some of the poison plants. I ate them and I get swollen. I was a kid. So I learned the herbs. I learned hard way and the herbs, then the grass, then the plants. My Shifu teaching me how this can be eaten, that can be eaten. I eat the mud. It was clay. It's a very usual thing. I don't eat animals, period. But at that time, I had to eat roaches, sklang. I call sklang in Chinese. Basically, the beetles out of the bathrooms. Snails, on the street. Anything can get a hand now. I could have died many times, poisoned many times. I was still alive. But when I went through these areas and I failed, if I went through that, anything else is nothing. Came out of the dead bodies. I was the only one alive. Got shot. And people thought, oh, this is bad, that bad. And that's nothing. During the hurricane time, Katrina. Oh, everybody was devastated. A lot of people died. It's true. Katrina, I was right in the middle of the Katrina, New Orleans. My school is on Jefferson Highway, 2708 Jefferson Highway. It's all burning house because the house was burned. My next door neighbor was burned. The big warehouse burned. I was standing over there. And people should try to break into my window. And because of the bar, it didn't break in. And then I wanted to help people. After that, 2 days later, I said, well, come in. A lot of people devastated come into my school. And I give them lessons, give them meditation, give them Tai Chi, give them some breathing, help them. Hundreds of people came. I was the only martial arts school open at that time. To welcome people. I put signs everywhere. Come over. It's free. Why? Because I had those days. And I'm part of those games. This human game. Of course, this is a disaster. But mine is not a disaster. It's human-made. The coronavirus, it is a virus. It is very tough. But sometimes we put more fears than virus. We put more problems on top of the problems. The problems can be solved. I never stopped a single day since February. At the beginning, I helped China to raise fund. Then later I came to the United States. That's what I came here for. The first time. I want to help the United States, people in the United States. We're all people. We are compassionate people. When you go out to help others, you feel, you become stronger. Do something. Don't let it stay at home. That's my suggestions. Your family will be happier. Yourself will be happier. Your energy will flow. And then the universe going to be flow with more beautiful energy. Oh yeah. My school, I lost 180,000 $180,000 US dollars, my 3 campuses, during the pandemic. I'm still happy. So what? You think any family lost $180,000? There could be deficit. Altogether, since last year or 2 years ago until this year, I put into at least more than $500,000 into this school to get everybody still keep going. People say, oh, why do that? Because I believe what I do. I believe the meditation can help people, Tai Chi can help people. Not only help people with disease, to get rid of the disease status into health status, but change the mind, transform the mind. They can see, they can do something for themselves. Instead of depend on media, depend on authority, depend on hospitals, depend on others. Everybody has that innate intelligence, the innate potentiality, the innate immune system. That's what I say. Wake up, let's do something together. That's what I say. Okay, next question.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Look like I'm angry. No, I'm just when I'm compassionate with these things, I'm passionate with these things. I want to express myself because I've been there. Much worse than you ever been. That's reality. I have died at least of. People say nine lives for cats. I lived more than cats.
All right, the next question.
Yes.
Okay, a college young man,
Uh-huh.
like a young man in college, he has panic attacks every time he has to speak in public. It just, freezes up. He has to work with teachers and students, and he's overwhelmed by anxiety and crippling panic attacks. Real problem. What do you suggest for him?
Okay. When I was young, I always go to my story. It's not I teach people how to do it. That's when let's do it together. And I could not speak. Today I can speak. I could not speak at all. Because one of the reasons I always blame, I always put some other things, or because of the political situation, because of this, because of that. Later on, I just get rid of that. I said, well, I need to get out of that situation. So I begin to, if I talk to people, I take some breath, just do it. And then I did this. I get myself excited. And it's not, you see yourself, it's not a panic. You see yourself as overexcited. You get more overexcited and you begin to get some breathe and you begin to learn how to breathe deeply. And when you do a couple of times and you feel better, you feel calm, you become calm down to just 5 minutes. I taught one of my students, Patrick Berry, also from New Orleans. He was a UFC fighter. His wife is UFC a champion. She was rated the number 1 at the UFC. Have you heard of UFC? UFC is a cage. It's people fighting in a cage. Yeah, and she was rated for current time. She was rated number 1 at the UFC. That's a pretty big deal, right? His wife, and he taught his wife, and he Patrick was my student. I remember in Biloxi when he was way in, and his blood pressure just like sky high, and they said I cannot let him fight. I said, don't worry. I take him to the corner of the room, just do some breathing. 5 minutes later, we did a blood pressure testing. Everything went down. So human beings have that ability. We call autonomic nervous system. It's not autonomic. I can give you hundreds of stories what I did with that autonomic nervous system. It's because we focus so much on outside stimulation, outside stress, outside things. Everything outside happened, and then we immediately respond, reaction based. And then we thought everything is uncontrollable. No, it is not. It can be controlled. So just a simple breathing, calm down breathing. Breathe deep. Very quickly breathe out. Do a couple times, and then deep breathe in and slow, even slower breathe out. Just try that too. And then you do probably like 9 times, 9. 100% will help you. Not only lower your blood pressure, but also get rid of the panic, stress, the rush. Slowly calm you down. And put you in totally different perspective. Yeah, because I do that with a lot of fighters. And think about the fighters, they're gonna knocked out. They're scared. And I told the people one time, Patrick was really scared, and he thought he was gonna die because this guy was from Robert from Air Force. He's one of the leaders from the Air Force, and he was also world champion for kickboxing. I get Patrick to fight him. Patrick said, he fought his life. He's a world champion. This is my first fight. You want to fight him? I said, you already did 3 fights. I took him to San Francisco to a different place to do an amateur fight. This is definitely first professional fight. He said, this is you got to be joking. I said, no, I'm not joking. So we trained for half a year for this fight. He just, every time he's just scared. He thought I was crazy. He peed on his pants. He was just that how scared he was. Because this guy's big name, the world champion, I'm a beginner. I said, no problem. Because I've been doing it too long to make this kind of mistake, to let you get knocked out. No, I don't. Trust me. Of course they didn't trust me. And then we breathe through it, and just breathe to do it. That's my philosophy. Just breathe, just do it. We did some pads, we did a few things. Do some breathing, and he's anxious. First round, he didn't do as well, but he's begin to move. As soon as he's begin to move, he got his confidence. He's moving. And his energy began to flow. Second round, he knocked that guy out. He knocked the world champion out. Second round, yeah, and he was thrilled. He was thrilled. So what I see is. Things can change. During the worst time is the time to transform. Always. The worst time is the time to transform you and to go to the opposite, because you don't have a place to go anymore. But go back to go up. The lowest point is the time to go up. Okay, good. Okay, this you talk about it. I think what I see is especially performance, speaking, singing, doing performance. They're similar situation, especially when you are panic attacked, and it's a psychological, also physical, because they affect each other. You just open it up after you take a long breath and open yourself and just visualize you are wonderfully in front of 100,000 people. Today I used to really panic when I talk to even a few people. In my class, like 20 people, 30 people, 60 people. But today, the more people, I got more excited. That's the way it is. I remember one time I was with an Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was his classic. It's called Arnold Classic. And everybody speak, and I was talking. There was like 20,000 people. He said, wow, you're really good. I said, yes, I'm pretty good with it. So I was getting excited. I said, so many people here, and I just got excited. I did my demonstration. I did my speech, And so I had of course, my accent, my British accent. I say VAS instead of VES. I say missiles instead of missiles. I spoke with a British accent. That's cool though. Okay, next.
Well, that seems to lead into my next question. A woman doesn't want to leave her house because of the pandemic. She is worried to the point of, just like a lot of us, wanting to stay indoors. The outside world seems a scary place. And she listened to the show and wrote in and would like some advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. When you forced or conformed to stay at home. Why I say conformed to stay at home? Because of the media, because of all this government, all these things, just all the propaganda. Whatever side. That's the worst situation. One thing, deplete your energy. Because when you're compressed, your energy is not flowing. You're stuck. If you move, just a simple motion can get your energy move. Second, when you go out, you get sun, you get vitamin D, and that will improve your immune system. When you stay at home over there with the stagnation of this air, and your immune system lowered, your energy lowered. When you hear all these fears, your energy dissipated by these fears, compressed by these fears, stagnant by the fears, and then totally depleted by the fears. The pandemic, the virus is no longer a problem to me. The fear becomes your number one enemy. The fear becomes your number one enemy. Because virus can be treated. Virus can be overcome. Virus can be taken over by your immune system, totally engulfed. Yes, I had SARS, I had all kind of virus. I don't care. I don't give a dime about it. Why? Because I have an immune system. I know that I can take care of it. Because that's all I knew. Doesn't matter where. I had a meningitis, infectious meningitis. That's pretty severe. People around me all died. I survived. Why? I was with a few people who believed they can do with me. With the energy. Qi Gong. And then helped me. Since when I was a child, I was surrounded with a couple of good people. And that is very important because I was informed. Today, you're lucky to hear from me because I have been through there. We have probably around me, but at least 50 people to 100 people died, as far as I know, around. That was in China. No medicine, nothing. I didn't get any single pill of antibiotics or whatever you call it, or anything. But I lived. And some people lived, a couple people lived, I remember, but they end up, like this because of the nerve damage. So when you get your energy expanded, get your immune system flow, get yourself unlocked with a gate of energy frequency, immune system energy frequency, incoherent with the cosmic consciousness, with the nature, and the fear begin to dissipate. Energy begin to rise. And you will see totally different yourself. I'm glad you listen to the radio. And then I think do something. Just simply do some breathing. Just move your hands around. Just that alone will help you. Walk around the house. Get out of the house. Look at the sun. The sun is beautiful. Kill all the virus, any virus there is. That will help you tremendously. And to make yourself stronger, and let fears disappear. It will, if you get energy up. When the energy is low, the fear become controller. When the energy rise above, fear becomes nothing. That's how it is. That's how that energy works. Because when your energy is low, you don't have the signals. You cannot connect with anybody. You cannot connect with nature because it's too low in that signal. When your energy is coherent with the universe and your energy is vibrate, that vibration totally rid of that fear, rid of all that chaos, rid of all this chaotic information that dissipate your beautiful energy. That's what I see. Observe yourself. Do not escape from fear. Face the fear. That means just observe. There's no such thing as a fear. There's no such thing as fear. Who's the fear? You are the fear. Fear doesn't from anywhere because you accept what they say and you create the fear in yourself. You are the fear. Without you, there's no fear. The fear is within. It's the response to that kind of chaotic information you take in. And you create the fear in yourself. I remember one time I used to when I was a kid, I was scared of dead bodies. I was scared of ghosts because people always tell me ghosts. And then I began to do some meditation and training in a graveyard. I feel my energy's up. And then one time I say, do you have the guts to sleep with the dead bodies? Okay, no problem. I went to this they call 太平间. 太平间 means the peace room. It's the hospital, the dead bodies. I slept with the dead body for the night. No problem. There's like 580 dead bodies there. I was in the middle of it. I was not thinking. I just meditate. At the beginning, it's a little bit. I heard the noise here. I just stopped, breathe, and then before long, I fall asleep. I just forgot everything. Next day, they wake me up. So, when you energy's up, everything is, that's fear is made inside. Remember that. Thank you.
Okay, Shifu, last question here. Let's see. A father has a chronic illness for years, and now he just found out he has cancer, and he's in intolerable pain. He feels hopeless, and everyone around him feels hopeless.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. This is one just like many of my patients. I remember this gentleman who is one of the most famous artists, who is my kind of like a kung fu brother. He did a little bit kung fu, but he was really good with arts, painting. For his problem, I see from the beginning. Even for 20 years ago, he smoked very heavily. And then that's why he had like a 2 package of cigarettes, sometimes 3. He just chain smoker. And then 4 years ago, he found out he got a cancer. Had a health problem because of smoke. Had a lot of health problems, and he worked hard. He worked like middle of the night. Like at 2 o'clock, he's still working. 3 o'clock, he's still working. It's just not irregular, that kind of thing. They definitely dissipate your energy. Oh yeah. And restless night, and not regular sleeper, and work hard, and smoke hard, and drink hard, and basically that's what it is. And he had a cancer and become stage 4 cancer. and his throat cancer, and his throat is just all rotten, This is all rotten. And when I saw him, rotten. His body just dissipated. The whole body, energy is dissipated, and then everything is covered with cancer. The hospital cannot do anything anymore. They tried to keep him alive, get a machine. I went over there, and with a friend, drove me from another city, went to China. So I told him to get up, let's walk. He said, can I get up? I said, no, you can't get up. So they did get him up. And then I give him the story. I know we went to a restaurant. They carried him. And then I did a little bit, in the United States, probably a lot of people heard of Reiki, basically Qigong, and I help him to kind of regulate his energy and did some breathing. And I said, we need to get out of the hospital today. He's some breathing tip. I said, get out of the hospital today. I'll walk with you tonight. So I walked with him 2 times that day. A week later, I walked with him altogether probably 5 times. A week later, and I'll show you someday. I'll show you the picture. And they, one of the news guy, took the whole thing, and followed us for a week. And I remember very well the first day. His sister, he's like probably 60, almost 70. He's a couple of years older than I am. Of course, I'm 30, but he's a couple chronically much older than I am. I call him big brother. And he's almost 70, yes. He was like 68, yeah. And because he always give me some good paintings, I always appreciate him. And I remember, and his sister say, "So little brother," they call me little brother. So what do you think he can do with this big hole here? He got over here, he's gonna die. I said, no, he's not gonna die. He's not gonna die. He's gonna be healed. That hole is gonna be closed. He said, all rotten over here. The hole is gonna be closed. I said, within a week. Oh, she totally 100% didn't believe me. A week later, I said, well, what do you think? Look his throat. It's totally closed. Within a week. You can see how powerful human beings are. He got rid of all the medicine, and a week later, that hole was closed. What I see over here is not what we can do. What I can do is what each person can do. You get out of the fear, get out of the disease status, and everything can be changed. So I worked with him definitely hard, and for the last few days, and get him totally change that status. One thing, he believed me because he knew my Kung Fu is really good. In China, and most people know me. And people just like my brother said, you don't need to do advertisement if you do anything in China. Because you are everywhere, everywhere. Because Liu Xiaoyang, that's one video. I put a little bit tiny video. It's like 12 million people watched. I just put the one. I was just on the river. I just do something with John Max Wayne. He went to China to do some film with me. They cut a little piece, and then it was like 12 million people watch. So what I see is that when you get out of that status, everything can be changed. Of course, at the beginning, I help him with his energy, help him to regulate his energy, help him to transform. But you eventually have to do it. You have to do it. One of the things is just like Bruce Lipton said, is believe biology. So what I say is perceive. If you perceive this cancer is no longer cancer. What is cancer? Cancer is kind of hundreds of diseases they cannot identify. They put it together as cancer. That's all it is. They cannot identify. We have all kinds of diseases. If you believe there are diseases, yes, you're going to be in a disease status. If you see this is the wrong energy you put into, you need to turn around to reconstruct that energy frequency. And everything is reconstructed, become coherent with the universe. And that diseased energy is gone. Just that quick. Just that quick. Same thing I told you guys before on this radio about Ray. Ray's same thing. He was devastated. He could not breathe. He could not sleep. He could not even sleep for 10 minutes. We worked together. Yes, I had to call him, to piece him like a baby, like adults, talk to a baby, It's just the way it is. And then slowly get him into meditation, and he can slept 1 hour, he slept 2 hours, he slept 3 hours. Finally, he slept 5 hours. He was thrilled. But everybody can do that. It's not me. All I do is open the window. Okay, there's a light over there. Why you close the window? Why you shut yourself over there? That's all it is. That's my function is. It's open the curtain for you. But you have to be willing to look over the sun, look at the light. That's what it's about. And he gave a speech the other day. It's on my website. He's a good example. From a stage 5 cancer, become bone cancer, become bone marrow cancer, blood cancer, cancer everywhere. And then, from the day he could not walk, collapsed, to the day he can run, swim. That's a life transformation. Who did that? He did himself. I didn't do anything. You have to travel. So number 1 is to perceive. You have to perceive. Perceive, that is the energy. How can you change the energy? Perceive, conceive. And then take action. Be accountable to yourself. That means every day you've got to get up, do some energy work. Do something to meditate. Do something to breathe. Do something for your vegetables. Do something to get some oxygen. Do something to help yourself to elevate the energy. That's all it is. And then you will see everything changed. Accountability and affirmation is also important because you need to keep follow up, follow through. Those are things important. Why? I remember a lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm really gung-ho, I want to see you, I want to do it. But next day they get depressed, they go back. You've got to keep yourself up. But find sometimes people alone is difficult, but find a few people work together. That's why there's a village. 14 people in that village had cancer. 14 people had all stage 4 cancer. 14 people. This is a real story. They did documentary. All they did is somebody give them a scripture of the Buddhist scripture. The writings. Okay, the writing says basically, our heart is our universe, our heart is our consciousness, our heart is our energy, and we open our heart. They read it every day. The 14 people read it every day. Just like a Bible, you read the Bible. But Jesus saved a lot of people. That's the truth. But you read that every day, and then, you know what? 10 years later, they're still alive. They did a documentary. They're supposed to all die. Yeah, because of the I think they had some nuclear thing, underground. A lot of people died. These 14 people also among the hundreds of people. But they decided to do something different. And these 14 people survived. 10 years later, they did documentary. Why? Because it's a perception. You perceive differently, and you begin to conceive differently, and you begin to take action, and you begin to do that scripts, and you guys get together, and everybody begin to jump, and everybody get the energy. Oh yeah, they transformed. Oh, that's the truth. These are all of them. They're older than I was at those days. I was like 30s at that time. I heard this story. I was very, very, very pleased. That's what I do. I help my patients. A lot of evidence proved that ancient wisdom of Tao, which said that everything comes from nothing. Whatever you conceive, you will receive. If you conceive with negative things with a diseased energy, and then your energy frequency will begin to supercompose each other with the negative things, with a negative balance, and then diseased status is going to occur. Just like one of my friends, she told me that she got depressed. She even talked to other people who got depressed, and they're all together. They all talk about the depression. They all got together. Negative things. The negatives get together. Negatives get together. They also become more negative. Why? Because that when they do that, they call it negative balance, negative coherence. They become negative. Everybody drive each other down. That's reality. That's reality. Because they strengthen each other to the opposite direction. Oh yeah, that's how they work. Because they attract each other also. They attract each other. But the positive and negative, they're going to repel each other. This is what I talk. This is not a philosophy. It's not some other things. This is quantum physics. Give the thousands of evidence. This is demonstrated at a quantum physics lab, quantum chemistry lab, quantum biological lab. That's what it is. This is not a philosophy. This is not a religion. This is a science. So negative things together, a lot of patients, they yell at each other, they complain with each other, and they drive each other more into the negative things. Yeah, that's very natural. And then positive things also drive each other up to the positive. You see a group of people, their success, everybody's success, they really drive each other. I remember a couple of people from Harvard University. They were just like brothers. They talk to each other. They really help each other. And then the things become realized. And then they selfishly help each other. They don't ask any penny back, everybody. They all become not just millionaires, or the multi-millionaires, but they're all happier. They're happier. Because they help each other. They also help the others, the community. Because their energy, good, transformation, really supercompose with each other. They propel each other to upper level. That's reality. I can give you thousands of evidence to prove that. Anyhow, the time is up. And you guys have beautiful Thanksgiving. Michelle, David, everybody else on the planet, thank you. Okay, I hope I help everybody. And I think this is not just to these people, I think to everybody on this planet. And then I hope you got some information, and then let's travel together, work together. Thank you.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the